morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
We have to start off on a sad note.
Sad.
Yesterday, around 6 p.m., Nothing Really decided to record a podcast. That podcast lasted until about 6:23 p.m. when that podcast lasted till about 6:23 p.m. until we realized that we were not recording. And so we lost a lot of really funny footage. And that was my fault. Not my bad. So I'm going to be put on timeout for about 2 minutes here while David has the spotlight to have his intro of Nothing Really. David will have the David Keeler Show starting now, talking about... What are you talking about?
Today we're going to change things up and just talk about nothing. Truly.
That sounds very interesting. So, David Keeler, everybody.
What is nothing truly? Now, nothing really, that is all about the reality of nothing. But what is the truth of nothing? What is truth? What is nothing? These are the questions that I'm going to be asking myself today on the David Keeler Show. Nothing. Nothing truly is and nothing will ever be. Because without it not ever not being truly nothing, everything can't be under that. And so, with great joy, we walk into nothing. Truly.
Thank you, David.
Yeah. I like to keep it light on that. You know, just
yeah,
a little.
That was nice.
Just a little morning routine I do every day.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, guys?
It's a Saturday morning.
Woo! It feels different.
It feels different because it's my fault.
It's okay.
What's up, Dave?
Not much. It's a Saturday, and I'm here at work, so that's fun.
So we're gonna keep this short because we got a brunch to go to. So we will be talking about the Avengers at some point, but it will be later in the episode, and we will warn you when we talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, stay calm. We're not going to spoil anything for you, and it'll be at the very end that we talk about it, and we'll tell you when we start talking about it so that you can turn it off and stop watching the thing. But if you're a really loyal fan and you're more loyal to us than you have been for the 12 years of Avengers movies, feel free to keep watching.
Yeah, if you've been as loyal to us, then you will just...
You better edit that out. You should have like a bleep thing over that whole thing with like a blur on your mouth. And I'll just be like, wow, way to go spoiling the whole thing.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Hello. We're back.
What's up, Joe?
What's up? So we wanted to talk about a few things. First thing is, in our first episode...
It is so early.
It feels very early.
Except it's like 10:30.
We usually record these in the evening, and today we're recording it in the morning. It's weird. So in our first episode, we talked about Fogo de Chao. It's a restaurant, and David went there. David went there the day that episode aired, actually. And David, we wanted to hear about your experience. We want to know what you... Oh, man, I
you good?
Birkin? Can't stop.
Why are you drinking a Red Bull right now?
Because Red Bull's so good and it wakes me up.
That's horrible.
Red Bull's great. Sponsor us, Red Bull. Tell us about your experience at Fogo de Chao, and was I right? The bread is crazy, and the table with the breads is crazy.
Oh wow.
Tell me why I was right.
Joe was right, and it was just quite an experience, unlike
Hear that?
I've ever had at a restaurant. It was amazing. So much amazing meat, and very fast service, and you just flip your green card, and they just rush you with food, and it's incredible.
You flip your green card at him, and they say he deserves food.
Yeah. Except
he's allowed to be here, is what they say.
our waiter came up to us and was like, "I will be your waiter today, and I'll take care of you." And then we never saw him until the very end.
Yeah, that was annoying because I was like,
even though
because then I had to leave I humble brag, I paid for everybody, and I had to. They were like, "You got to leave him a tip," and I was like, all he did was walk us to our table and then leave, and then come back at the very end and be like, "All right, guys, you ready for the bill?" And we were like, "What?"
Like everyone waited us except for him.
Yeah, which I think the tip is. Because
fully.
I think the tip is split for everybody.
But yeah, it was really good. And right when you get there, they just throw all this food at you to fill you up before you have their delicious, expensive meat. So I sat down, and they're like, "Here's some bread. Here's some mashed potatoes. Here's some fried banana stuff."
Yeah, and then they wait for you to
get hungry and eat.
No, they wait for you to get hungry and eat that stuff.
Right.
They hope that you go to that crazy bread table.
They try to break you down.
They sit there and they're like, "So you gonna go to the crazy bread table?"
Oh, no, I'm good.
And we're like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
I mean, and there's mashed potatoes right there in front of you. You can have those too.
I see. Thank you.
So are you gonna do that? You're gonna.
Do you have steak?
Oh yeah. I mean that's coming. But you can go to the bread first if you want.
I'm good.
Well, let's just wait and see if you wanna. Let's see if you
I'm
change.
good.
Your
I promise.
No, we'll wait and see if you change your mind. And then they made me feel really poor because they brought out a massive Bible of wine selection, and they said, if you get anything that's over $150 off, then you get you get anything over $150, then you get $50 off if it is from South Africa. And I was like, okay, I didn't look. I was wearing what I wore last time, which I'm not wearing all black this time. I got white. I got white on my slides. I'm all white today.
Your knees are white?
My knees are white. All right, but I was wearing that all black thing with those Vans, and I was just like, do I look like I'm about to buy a $150 bottle of wine?
No.
No way. No wine should be that expensive. No wine tastes that good.
Well,
what? Have you had a $150 bottle of wine that you say tastes that good?
If
I didn't see you buying one of those.
If it's that much, it should probably be really good.
It should, but there's no way it's worth $150. No way. Nothing should be $150 that is food. No food.
Nothing should be worth $150.
No food.
That's too much money for anything.
No one should spend $150 on food unless it's to feed their friends or a nation. I don't think you can feed
Joe
a
Innes.
nation. Yeah. My campaign speech is no one should spend $150 for food unless it is on their friends.
Or the nation of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Fogo de Chao. Go for it. Go check it out.
Yeah. Go check it out.
So, Joe, the other day I was driving down 355. It's a road nearby.
Right.
You've been on it.
Right. Don't give them our location. Way to go.
It's a big road.
It's a big road. That's true.
It's a long road.
It is a long road. Anyways.
You can't find me.
Anyways.
I was driving down, and you're in 3 lanes, and the 3 lanes become 2 lanes at an intersection. So you just lose that lane. And everyone's trying to keep going into those 2 lanes. Following? Tracking?
I'm tracking.
All right. So this lady's in the far left lane that will eventually get cut off, and she's trying to move over, obviously. And there's this giant truck, right next to her, going a little bit faster than she is. And she just continues. He's clearly in her way. And she just starts turning, veering into the other lane, and he clips her rearview mirror on the right side. And I was like, lady, you're dumb, because he was very clearly there, and she had so much time. She like was slowly turning, and like she would have seen the car, and just it was really funny.
I did that, or no.
And there was like no one got hurt. It was like slow.
When I first got my license, when I first got my license, that was David drinking iced coffee. Thank you, David.
Like McDonald's.
When I first got my license, I went to the grocery store with my friend Elliot, and I was driving a minivan. And I was in the parking spot. There were two cars next to me, and I like backed into the parking spot because I'm sick like that.
In a minivan. Wow.
Minivan. Actually, maybe I just pulled through. I don't know. But I had just gotten my license like 2 days ago, and I totally just turned the wheel to the right before like going forward at all, and then just hit the brake and or not the brake, the pedal, and Elliot goes, "What? Wait!" And I just kept going, like, but I didn't like slam on it. I kind of just like hit it and like started moving, and Elliot was like, "Oh, and I just grinded on the side of the car. It was like, and I was like, "Oh," and Elliot was like, "Why'd you do that?" And I was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And he was like, "I was trying, but I was freaking out."
That's so
I
funny.
literally just went like and just hit a car.
Wow, nice. 2 days after.
I left a note. I left it because they were in this grocery store. I wasn't going to wait for them, so I left a note, and I was like, "Hey, I hit your car. Call this number."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really funny. My parents were like, "Oh my god, like you're such," and our car was like totally fine, and theirs was like dented in. It was so bad.
Sorry.
One time,
Bye.
okay, I have one more story about this. One time, this still bugs me so much to this day. I dropped my friend off at his house. I dropped Jacob Patton off at his house, and he lived in like a small like townhouse complex thing. So the parking lots
Before he passed, he lived
before
in
he
this place.
passed. I don't know what that was.
Your glasses got in the way of the thing.
So before Jacob passed, there was a small. He lived in a townhouse thing, and their roads kind of like cut off into tiny little like square parking lot things, and so like people parked in parking spaces. There weren't driveways or anything.
Oh yeah.
And I was on one side of the road, and it was like it's a tight little parking lot. So like only one car can really get out at a time. And I dropped him off. No. Sorry, I was picking him up. Fully new story. Sorry. I was picking him up. And I'm sitting there, and I look behind, or I look at my rear view on my left, and I make eye contact with this guy walking out of his house behind me. And I then go a step further where I'm pulling out, and I turn the car, and I'm pulling, and I'm backing out. And I look at him, like I turn around and I look right at him, and he looks right back at me. And by this point, he's in the driver's seat, and I'm pulling out, and he looks at me, and while looking at me, just backs up right into my car. And I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" And he just, without like doing like. I was like, why? I was pulling out. I make eye contact with him, and he looks at me and goes, "It's my car." And I was like, bro, luckily it did absolutely nothing to my car. I get super lucky with these car accidents. It did absolutely nothing to my car, and it crushed the back of his car. And I was just like, I don't know why you just did that. And he got out of his car, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I just felt like it was time to go, and I went. And then I found out that it wasn't his car, it was his brother's car, and his brother had just gotten it and didn't have insurance on it yet. And so I could have like,
whoa,
I didn't do anything because I'm a nice person.
You could have destroyed a family.
I could have destroyed a whole family, but I didn't. And I was like, "It's fine, you're an idiot, but like I'll let you go."
Wow.
And he was like, "I'm so sorry." He was like freaking out. He was like, "I don't have like money, and he doesn't have insurance." Or no, his insurance started. He had an insurance card, but it didn't start for another like 3 days.
Yeah, yikes.
And so like I was like, "Dude, you're the worst." And I think I got him I think he paid like, I don't even know if I got him to pay anything. I think I was just like, whatever. And then left because my car was totally fine. And I just was like, it's okay. It was so dumb.
That sucks.
And then final car story.
Okay. What?
Yeah. This is another time where I saw an idiot driver at work. I was on my way to a place called Nashville, Tennessee. David, you familiar with
Oh,
that?
yeah.
You familiar with Nashville?
I love Nashville. I was just there.
Yeah, really.
Oh.
Yeah, so I decided, you know what? Me and a few friends decided to go to Nashville.
Okay.
And I said, hey, we can drive my car. I'll be nice. I'll be very nice. I'll put some miles on my car. We'll run my car into the ground. And it's a good 9-hour drive. So I was like, we'll drive my car. So we drive. We're driving. And then I'm getting tired at the wheel. So one of my friends,
Who will remain unnamed.
yeah, won't name names.
Nah. I'm an amazing driver.
Don't know why you said that, but thanks for telling us. Won't name names. Said I'll take a turn at the wheel, and I said, you know what? To this point in my life, I think I would trust this guy to drive my car. And I was like, I will allow you to drive my car, which I spent a lot of money on, and I am already giving up to drive to this place. So I was like, all right, sure. So I got in the back of the car, and I decided to go to sleep. That was so loud. You could hear that in the mic.
That was powerful.
Sorry, guys. David was changing the camera. Back to my story. I really hope you keep that in. Sorry, guys. Back to my story. Anyways, my friend who will remain nameless, said, "Hey, I'll drive."
Nameless.
And I said, "All right, I trust you to drive." So I got in the back of my car to go to sleep because I had been driving since like 4 a.m. and it was now like later. It was like 10. So I was like, I'm gonna go to bed, and I drift off and I start dreaming, or
into
something.
a slumber.
Yeah, into a deep slumber, and I hear, this is what I hear. Whoa! and immediately, just, and I wake up like, oh no, I'm about to lose my life, or I'm about to lose my car, or I'm about to lose both. And I wake up. And I can't see anything on this side of the car because there's a massive truck, the semi-truck right there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's looking real close. And then I look to the other side. I'm like, hopefully the person who will remain nameless will go to the left a little bit, veer to the left, because the truck is about to run into him. So I look to the left to say, at least there's a lane over here. And there was a lane, but there was another truck in that lane, like just chilling. And so we were sandwiched between two trucks, speeding through both of them, not deciding to stop, even though one of the trucks was merging. The nameless person decided to speed up instead of slow down, and at the same time let out a big whoa as he went for it. And I was like, what are you doing? I was not very happy about that one. And then he was like, he was driving. After that, he chuckled a little and went, he went like this.
What?
That was a close one. Just kept driving.
Wow. I mean, that was close. We can laugh about it now. We're all right, you know. The whole...
And that was the worst thing that that person has ever done to anything of mine.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not excited about that one. I lost my glasses in the process of doing that, but it's fine.
And we got to Nashville safe and sound.
Well, yeah. Safe, maybe not sound.
What do you mean?
I don't know. What's the sound part mean?
I don't know.
Sound means sound asleep. Like you're.
Don't worry, I'm sound. Oh, like okay in the head. Like I'm sound.
I think so. Yeah.
Like I'm safe
fine.
physically, and I'm safe
And I'm
emotionally
sane
and
still.
mentally.
Right. I think that's what it means.
I didn't go
I don't know
insane.
about if we were sound. That sound after that. I wasn't, at least. I almost lost my car and my life, but my
Well-
car is more important. It was very scary.
It was the right thing to do.
All right, so let's talk about Avengers. Guys, if you have not seen Avengers, we're going to talk about spoilers right off the bat because this is not a long podcast. So if you've seen Avengers or if you have not seen Avengers and don't want it spoiled, end it right now in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for watching. Go follow us on Instagram and go follow us on YouTube where David puts a lot of funny videos and stuff on YouTube. We put a lot of little graphics and things like right here or right here or right there. David does some cool stuff like that. So for all you audio listeners, go do that. All you video listeners, go subscribe to us on iTunes Podcast or Google Play or whatever.
Leave us a review.
Leave us a review too. It really helps. Okay. Avengers in 3, 2, 1.
Go. My favorite part of Age of Ultron was probably when
We're talking about Avengers 1. I don't know what you guys think we're talking about. The first Avengers. Loki, serious bad guy.
he's crazy.
He's insane.
He's so scary.
That guy's nuts. Loki's so scary.
The stakes are so high.
Loki's got those big horns. He could poke somebody.
He can poke you.
You get scary. All right, Avengers Endgame came out.
Oh my gosh. It was a lot. It was 3
It was
hours
so long.
of just
I was thinking about it. Like, I want to see it again, but it's a whole afternoon.
it was amazing.
But it's so good.
It's really good. It has to be that long.
It does.
You can't have 21
But
movies
I heard a lot of
leading up
I heard
to
a
the final movie.
I heard
and then have it not be long.
That's true. But I heard a lot of people, or I was listening to a podcast on the way here about it, and there were a lot of scenes that I think could have been shortened or potentially taken out, just because they weren't necessarily needed. But they were every scene was cool. There was not a scene that I was like, I wish that wasn't in the movie.
Exactly.
So that's cool. But there were like a lot of extra things, I think.
True.
I'm assuming not everybody that's watching this part has seen it, but if you have not seen it, the Avengers movie starts. Everyone's really sad because all their friends are dust, and
Half their friends.
then
are
they
dust.
decide, wait, we're the Avengers. Let's go. Thanos isn't dead yet. Let's go kill him. So that's what they do. They immediately go kill Thanos, and Thanos dies. And then they realize through some things that they could go back in time and potentially change everything if they collect all the Infinity Stones and basically make a new gauntlet and snap again and bring all their friends back. That's what a snap is. So Tony Stark figures out how to time travel because he's brilliant, and they decide to do that, and they all split up and go to different parts of the different
MCU.
movies of the MCU. So they go to the first Avengers movie, they go to Thor Dark World, which is wow. Why'd they choose that one? But it worked very well, actually. So cool. And then they go to Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and then like they do cool stuff where like they're trying to collect all the Infinity Stones, and there's one part where they try to get the Tesseract, and Loki scary Loki from First Avengers. It's like right after he gets captured and loses, they lose the Tesseract again, and he grabs it and like disappears and is gone. So they realize they can't get it at that point. So they jump further back in time to Captain America's kind of beginning. And so it was really cool watching that. But there's like so many wild things that happen in this movie. We lose two big characters, Black Widow and Iron Man. Sad. Very sad.
Very sad.
Felt like they could have given Black Widow a tiny bit more of like a sad ending, but it was all right. You know? 'Cause, like, she was just gone.
I thought they did a good job with that.
Really? You thought?
Like,
okay.
I thought the whole lead up to that of her and Barton going to the cliff, and
I think it was the perfect two characters.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so cool how like the audience knew that like one of them was gonna have to die. Like as they walk up.
As they were walking, we were like, wait a minute.
Like hold on.
They can't just get
Yikes.
this. There are a few things that I've heard about it. This is kind of jumping around, but a few things. So at the end of the movie, Captain America goes back because they have to put everything back in the same place to keep their timeline basically from
to like save all the other timelines.
To save all the rest of the timelines, correct. Because if they don't save all, or if they don't, then all the rest of the timelines are boned. So Captain America goes back to put all of the stones back in place, but there are a lot of people like, well, how did he put different stones back? Like the Soul Stone is the one where you trade a soul for the Soul Stone. So like, how did he put it back? I think probably he just gave it to the Red Skull and was like, here, like throw it back in the sky or whatever. So that was one that people like, that doesn't really make sense. Or like, if you think about it, it's kind of weird.
Nobody explained that?
No one. It's never explained. They're just like, we got to put them back.
Well, I'm saying no one on the internet was like, well, blah blah blah.
Oh, I didn't look. I haven't checked yet. But from what I was listening to, but I'm assuming they just give it back to the Red Skull and he throws it back in the air or something.
Well then,
but then there was another one of like the Time Stone.
Yeah,
is supposed to hold everything in place, and so it gets when it got destroyed by Thanos, everything should have like shattered. Like there should have been no way that their timeline existed because the Time Stone holds all of that. That was another thing. Like they were like, well, if the Time Stone breaks, the Time Stone holds the whole thing together. So their timeline should have been shattered anyways. True. And then there was like weird stuff. Like if you think about it, Peter Parker's going back to high school 5 years later.
That makes perfect sense.
It kind of.
He didn't go to school when he was dust. He was dust.
Well, I know, but like it's just kind of like
he still needs to learn the capitals.
I just want to know if the whole high school's, if they're, and which I actually heard. I think this is why the Spider-Man movie's coming out, and none of the other ones are playing because they're planning on taking a bit of a break. But the Spider-Man movie's coming out, I think, just to show kind of the aftermath a little more.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
To just kind of be like, this is what everyone's doing now. Like, this is what happened.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, like, this is how everyone's kind of reacting to everybody coming back.
Yeah.
So, and then there was a crazy fight scene, like a 45-minute battle. Holy crap.
That was wild.
That was the greatest battle scene of all time, in my opinion.
Before we get there, can we talk about... going all the way back to the original question of this, one of my favorite parts...
Yes, sorry.
Was...
Those were my favorite parts.
What? The loopholes?
No, sorry. The battle scene was insane.
The battle.
The battle was insane. I really, really liked some of the jokes in the movie. That's not necessarily a part, but like just a lot of the jokes humor. Were like really funny.
True.
Some of my favorite jokes are in this movie.
Yeah, they're good. That's two.
That's two. And then I liked how they dealt with the time travel thing because I think everyone kind of knew like, oh, it's gonna be time travel, but they did it in a really fresh way, and it wasn't like I was gonna be so mad if this was just Infinity War again, like Tony Stark was I figured out that. Like if Tony Stark was like, I figured out time travel, and then they all went, sweet, let's just go fight him again,
let's go back to Wakanda,
let's go back and beat him again.
Yeah, that would have been dumb.
So dumb.
Yeah.
And they did not do that at all.
Correct.
And it was very, very cool. And so those are my three things. Just how they dealt with time travel. Some of the jokes in this movie were hilarious. And like some, not even jokes, but just like funny things they did. Like Thor's fat the whole movie. Great. Love it.
Yeah.
And the battle at the end is, I think, my favorite battle scene ever.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Thoughts, Dave?
One of my favorite parts were just the initial, when they go back in time, and they're mainly the part where they're in New York.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like taking it back to the
it
first
was like
Avengers
a cool
movie.
Heist movie.
And it was like a cool heist, and like they knew that S.H.I.E.L.D. was Hydra.
Yeah.
And
that elevator scene.
So cool.
They repeat the elevator scene from Winter Soldier. And
where he beats everybody up.
Yeah, where he beats everyone up in this elevator, and it's the same people.
That's so great.
But instead, this time he just like whispers because he doesn't need to fight him. He
Yeah.
knows what to do. So he says Hail Hydra, and then he just takes it. Also, Captain
Very
America.
cool.
Captain America
He fights himself.
had a lot of wild stuff happen in this movie. He fights himself. He relives the elevator scene, which is super cool. He
Yeah.
picks up Thor's hammer
Yeah.
at one point, which is super dope.
Super cool.
And just for all you listeners that might not know, David, I think I told you this yesterday, but Captain America in the comics is the only one that's ever able to pick up Thor's hammer because it's the only one worthy enough.
And Vision.
And Vision. But he does that. He's able to in this movie and not the other ones because in Civil War, he confesses to knowing that Bucky killed Tony's parents, and he was holding that back for the other movies, which is why he wasn't able to pick it up before because he wasn't worthy enough.
He was hiding something.
He was hiding something. But
So
now
cool.
that he's like fully pure human, he was able to, which is really cool
Yeah.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, Captain America, like throughout all of the MCU movies, he's had like, it's either I love Captain America or it's like he's
an
very
idiot.
lame and
Yeah.
dumb.
I
So
haven't been a
like
huge Captain
Civil
America
War,
fan, but
not a fan
this
of
movie
him.
was tight.
But then Winter Soldier, huge fan of him.
Yeah.
He's awesome in that. And then like the first Avenger, it's like kind of okay.
Yeah, it's like
and
whatever.
then this like Winter Soldier was like, this is Captain America's best movie.
Yeah,
But
I
this
disagree. I
this
think
one was
is
the
better.
best. Yeah.
Yeah,
He killed it.
He's insane in this movie.
Yeah. It was good.
And he has a great like arc or a great ending.
True.
Where he lives out his life. With,
Yeah, it's
with
very nice.
Penny,
Yeah.
with Peggy, and
Yeah.
that's all cute and stuff. But there was another thing, people thinking about that, like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Because, technically, like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it, but basically, it's like that didn't actually necessarily make sense that basically when he went back in time, there was another Captain America in that time too, but he just had to lay low undercover the whole time, pretend that he wasn't there, and tell Peggy that he was a different Captain America,
Oh.
and she had to help him lay low or whatever because the other Captain America's off fighting.
Whoa.
Or the other Captain, because at that time
He
when
couldn't have
Peggy's
just
like,
gone back to when he knew he was in the ice?
I don't know, maybe, but no, but I'm sorry, not necessarily. He probably lived out a lot with her when he was in the ice, probably true. But then after that, like the New York thing still happens, and the Winter Soldier still happens, and everything still happens. He's just another Captain America that's got to like, he just had to lay low for a really long time, but maybe it made more sense.
Does that still happen?
Yeah, all that still happens because then he still is in the same exact timeline and ends up at that point.
Yeah, so my favorite parts were going back to the 2012 Avengers, and then probably when Hawkeye and Black Widow
That was a really cool scene.
go get the stone
really cool.
and fight each other, and then she dies.
Tony's
It's so sad.
Tony Stark's final moment was,
And then that's
was
my other
pretty
favorite
cool.
part, Tony's death.
I was kind of surprised they didn't let him like die out a little longer and like have a few more moments with people, but I liked how they did it. Like you thought he was gonna at least be like and like talk to someone and be like it's gonna be cool, and like Cap would come up and he'd be like, hey man, we're chill or whatever. But he died pretty quick.
Yeah,
Like
powerful.
he
thing.
once he says I'm Iron Man, he doesn't say anything else except he says Pepper like
That was
barely
awesome.
under his breath. But
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
It was pretty wild.
it was
But
very.
the movie was very good.
Very good.
Recommend it. I want to go see it again, I think. It's a whole day though.
Yeah,
It's 3 hours long, man. It's a long movie, but I heard it was actually better the second time for a lot of people.
nice.
Okay, so the last two things that I want to say before we talk about this final battle, the final battle is one of the two things, but there's a lot of like, the writing's so good. Like the more you think about it, and this is why I want to go back and see it, is because there's so many like little things you miss. Like, even like Falcon, when Captain America, also coolest picture ever is Captain America standing there with Thanos and his whole army. opposing
Captain
him,
America by
and
himself.
his shield's
Just,
broken.
like,
Oh my god!
everyone is
It's
coming towards him.
Insane, but like even right there, Sam's like on your left.
Yeah,
From
Winter Soldier.
He's like on your left, and then
Yeah.
everyone shows up.
I
And
like
it's the
that.
coolest. There's things like the last scene with Captain America is him dancing with Peggy.
Yeah.
From when he says like we got to have a rain check on that dance or whatever. There's a lot of like cool callback things like that.
You missed
can't
all
even
those
remember
when you were watching?
I remember, I forgot about the On Your Left one.
Okay.
I just realized that one, but I caught the dance and all that.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Just calling back to like the last 10 years of us watching.
It was so
these
cool.
movies.
Even like the very end, Happy's like, "What do you want?" She's like, "A cheeseburger." I had a cheeseburger yesterday, just in memorial. But yeah, that was cool. That was all.
I forget that. What is?
So in the first Iron Man,
Yeah.
Iron Man shows off all his tech
Oh.
or whatever, and then he goes, cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Anyone want a cheeseburger? And then they go through like a Wendy's or a Burger King, and
Yeah,
he gets like
true.
4 cheeseburgers. And Happy's like, "What do you want?" She's like, "A cheeseburger." And he's like, your dad really liked cheeseburgers. So I was like, I gotta eat a cheeseburger
Yeah.
at work tomorrow. But yeah, there's so many, which
So
is
many
why I want to
great writing decisions.
So many good writing decisions. The writing,
it was really good.
Russo brothers
Yeah,
really
because like going
crushed
in,
it.
it's like there are so many things that they could like do wrong or like lean too far into.
yeah.
But
And this is
they
like
nailed it.
the end.
Yeah.
Like there's no end credit scene. There's a tiny little like chink of a hammer, which is Tony
That's
hitting
just
his
another
armor.
callback.
It's just a callback,
Which is
just
great.
a little more memorial thing. But there's no, there's nothing. It's
Yeah.
done. Like we're this is the end of the chapter, and we'll bring it back eventually. I saw some things about the next one that they did put in there that people might have missed. Like there's a thing about I think Black Widow says it. She's like there's like a ton of earthquakes in the water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the next super villain that's basically the next
Is
Thanos.
Aquaman.
Wrong. It's a guy named Namor, or he's potentially just
Namor?
another villain in another movie, but he's potentially the biggest bad guy. His name's Namor. He's like kind of like an evil Aquaman. But he
There you go.
he kind of controls like the whole sea and stuff.
Interesting.
So, and that was supposed to be like a little
Hint.
hint
That's
to
cool.
him that there's like a ton of earthquakes in the water and stuff, and that's Namor getting all his boys ready.
That's cool.
But yeah, we're done.
We're done. I'm gonna miss Robert Downey Jr.
I am too. They're definitely gonna have his little daughter be Iron Man Jr. in a few years. I
think they should just keep Gwyneth Paltrow in
Gwyneth
that like,
Paltrow is cool
blue
for a little bit.
suit.
Yeah, but I think she's done.
Sad.
I think they'll have her little girl as Ironheart, which is the female version of Iron Man.
Ironheart.
Yeah, her name's Ironheart.
Interesting.
They'll have her eventually, and it'll be a big deal. But they can't do it for a while because she's a really little kid, and
They'll
they have
just
a ton
recast
of
it,
other
maybe.
movies to do. Well, they can't just skip years ahead because then they'd have to skip for everyone else too, like all the Spider-Man
True.
movies and Captain Marvel and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. We
Yeah.
recommend go seeing it.
Yeah.
We got a brunch to go to, David. Maybe we'll do another episode talking even more in depth on this if we want. We could get a guest
Possibly.
or something.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah. Robert Downey Jr. MVP of like the last
Robert Downey Jr. the best.
22 movies.
Great. Captain America did a great job. Everybody did fantastic jobs.
Russo
Paul
brothers.
Rudd had a great performance.
Paul Rudd was
Russo
great.
brothers, great job. You, from nothing really, just know that you guys did a great job. Yeah, we'll see a Guardians 3, and we'll see a Spider-Man movie, and we'll see a Captain Marvel movie, and that's I think all that's planned.
What about
I
a
saw something about a
Black
Widow
Widow movie? Yeah.
but she's dead. But that means that they could probably just go back in time and get her again. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I would watch a Black Widow movie.
I kind of hope she's dead.
Joss
but I kinda
Whedon
don't
did
care.
not write her very well at all.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Russo brothers did
The
a
Russo
great
brothers,
job.
she's so good in this movie.
Yeah, she
she's
is.
the peak of her arc
Yeah.
and just the best. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks, guys.
This has been Nothing Really. Signing off.
Peace.
Peace.